We start with the Thursday nighter in almost exactly 48 hours from now. And don't forget, Dutch Boy Fresh will be going live for the Thursday nighter all game long. Live bet stream for the Buffalo Bills, who went 11-6 last year, 5-3 on the road at the Los Angeles Rams, 12-5, 5-3 at home. SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Your Super Bowl champions over the last 21 years, Super Bowl champs are 18-3 straight up, 13-6-2 against the spread in week one of the season. But they are the underdogs here. The Buffalo Bills opened up as 1-point favorites. They are now 2.5-point favorites at Pinnacle. From a total perspective, this opened up at 52. At a pick'em, it is still right there. No movement. 53,162 tickets are in. 65% of the tickets and 76% of the cash is on the Buffalo Bills on the spread. From the total perspective, we don't have the cash up, which is funny because we have so much money and there's 6 different games. So 6 of the 16 games here, I'm not going to be able to give you a cash run from Sports Insights on the total. Let's get to work here. Super Bowl favorite Buffalo Bills travel to play the reigning Super Bowl champs. Buffalo had the number 3 offense last year at 29.6 points per game, but Brian Daboll, who had this offense humming, is gone. Daboll is in New York, and Ken Dorsey has big shoes to fill as the new offensive coordinator. Bills have 9 starters returning on offense. Josh Allen is the favorite to win MVP. He has Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Isaiah McKenzie returning. They signed Jamison Crowder for a 1-year contract up to $4 million, possibly with incentives, 1.87 guaranteed. The Rams lost Von Miller, the NFL active sack leader, to these very Bills. Buffalo signed to a $120 million contract, $51.4 million guaranteed, 18.5 signing bonus. Last year, the Bills defense was very tough, very tough. The Super Bowl champion Rams lost some pieces in the offseason. We talked about Von Miller, Andrew Whitworth, Robert Woods. The Rams had the number 6 offense last year at 26 points per game. Matt Stafford had a wild first year with the Rams, tied his career high with 41 touchdown passes. He also did that as a 23-year-old back in 2011. He also threw 17 interceptions. That's his most since 2013. He sat out all the throwing drills. He got an injection for elbow pain in his throwing arm. He was supposedly battling severe tendonitis, but he is good to go. They signed ex-Bear Allen Robinson. They have a healthy Cam Akers. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp coming off 1,947 yards, 16 touchdowns. Van Jefferson expected to get a big jump in his numbers, 802 yards, 6 touchdowns last week. And on defense, everything starts with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, but the Rams signed a very hungry Bobby Wagner. The Thursday nighter, Andy, our first game of the year. Bills-Rams, take it away.
Yeah, and I won't say who, but somebody in the chat already nailed what I'm doing with this one. I make my own numbers. I guess I could have talked about that a little off the get-go too. I always make my own numbers. I compare them, but I've never been the guy who just says, hey, my numbers say this and the odds say this, so I'm blindly betting it because I disagree and I show X amount of value. I still will always dig in. There are plenty of games where my numbers disagree and I say, I still can't bet it because X, Y, Z or this level of uncertainty around a certain player or a matchup within the game. So my numbers don't make this quite as big as the spread would indicate, but still close enough and still within a couple points. I'm fine with this. And a couple people in the chat already said this. This is a tough one to lead off with. And it's about 50-50 in the chat there for who likes who. A lot of uncertainty on both teams, though. The Rams down in OC. But again, and once you start talking about Minnesota, it's not the guy who actually called plays. It's tough to say how much of a part he was of the offensive game plan, the scheming from week to week. It's still a blow to him. And same thing on the other side of the ball, losing a coordinator. It's always tough to tell what's going to come of that sort of thing from one year to another. Early in the season with the high level of uncertainty in that, I'm calling that just a wash. The big thing is the Stafford elbow. If that thing is a problem, that could be problematic for a team that, maybe doesn't have the chops to repeat just based off what they have. But the NFC is kind of weak. If this team can do anything like it did last year, it absolutely can get back to the title game. So the elbow things worry me. And also with the Rams, and this was a big point myself and others made last year, was they're kind of thin. That it's a stars and scrubs type of roster. A lot of people, I said that, and Drew said that at the beginning of last year too. Man, a couple of injuries and they're just dead. And they just never had those injuries. And again, that's the same kind of thing we're looking at this year, but it's still week one. Like, that's more of a season long kind of lookout thing. I have this team a lot closer to, the Bills and other people. The main concern maybe is losing a tackle. Noteboom steps in there for Whitworth. The offensive line still should be good. Not a lot of big, disadvantages or advantages for positional groups here. It is a really good Buffalo defense that can get pressure, but Stafford played really well last year. So really, really, really going to look at this in a lot of teasers. I'm not going to be able to lay the points. I don't like to take a short dog like this with a high total like this one. So I'm usually going to tease something like this or just take the Rams straight up. So in this case, this is going to end up in a teaser with at least one other team here. So that's a big thing too. Shop around for that. We're always going to say shop around, find the best price, but shopping around for teasers is especially important now with some of the books really, really wanted to take into account of that price. If you can find minus 110 on a 6-pointer, that's the golden goose there, because that is fewer and far between right now. But even minus 120, I think you can get there on some of these if you're selective enough. So I'm gonna take the 2.5, tease it up to 8.5. I don't love that with the high total, but they are at home and they've had a lot of time to prepare. And honestly, I think they have the better coach. You can say a lot of things about the Buffalo Bills, a lot of nice things. I think some of their shortcomings came from the top with the head coaching there. I think that might have cost them in the playoffs, and I think it cost them a couple of regular season games too.
My plan at this point is I want to bet the first half under. I just don't see a high speed early in this game. I think they're going to take their time. I think they're going to think things out. First half under is at 25.5 for me. I thought about moving on the full game under 53. It's now 52. I'm hesitating there. This is what I would like to do, Andy. Tell me what you think of this idea. We have Dutch Boy Fresh doing his live show on Thursday. The first team that scores, I would like to take the other side. I think this is going to be a close football game. So the first team that gets a touchdown, and I want a touchdown. I don't want a 3-0 lead. I want one team to get a touchdown. I want to bet the other side, unless an injury or something comes up. So my idea is watch the game with Dutch, see who scores the first 7, take the other side, and likely tying that in with a first half under. Also, if there's an early score, I'll immediately bet the under. But nothing in me wants to bet the over. What do you think of those ideas and those angles?
I'm pretty set. I think this total's pretty sharp. I'm fine with it. There was a group that came in and some people hit the over, pushed it up. It got some market resistance, bought right back down, sitting right around 52. I get that. And I will say, too, when it comes to live betting, that can get a little dicey on a Sunday where maybe your focus isn't completely on that game. But, on a Thursday like this, when you're only going to be watching this game, I think probably you'll have enough information to make that live bet. Live betting's a little tricky. You can't just say, well, if maybe you have your plan like that, but what if the one team just looks like Jesus Christ came back and played quarterback and they marched right down the field, and maybe you're a little hesitant there. I tend to maybe downplay the opening drive sometimes. Some of these scripted drives you see right away, you say like, that's maybe that was the first 15 scripted. This offense is going to look like that all day. You can take that with a grain of salt, but maybe there's a couple punts and then you end up with maybe even a lucky score or a score you don't think they deserved, or maybe a penalty aided drive that maybe betting against that team. I don't hate that, especially if you get a bigger number. And I hate teasing this because, again, my only MVP ticket is on Josh Allen. I think they're just dying to give it to him.
I love it. I love the breakdown. I'm so excited about the Thursday nighter. So my plan is the first half under. Razor says first game of the year, public will be hammering the over. Do you think that, because it has gone from 53 to 52 in the last 24 hours, do you think this number creeps up and it might be worth waiting?
It could be. Like, you'll see plenty of money come Thursday, but I think just with what you've seen of the market already, the people with real big money have been fine, pounding this under once it goes up. So if the public, if you want to do that, maybe pay attention, wait for it and be ready, because I think if it does keep getting bet up to 53, there's going to be money just taking it right back down.
I love it. There's our Thursday nighter. I plan to be on the first half under. I also plan to be here on Pub Sports Radio Thursday night for Dutch Boy Fresh and the opening game of the season as we live bet it. There is your Thursday nighter.
We at Pub Sports Radio are doing our own Cappers contest. $100 entry fee. We will all be competing against each other. Every single cent that's put in will go into the prizes.
You've got 5 picks every week. If you go to pubsportsradio.com, you buy yourself that little ticket that you see on the website right there. Just hit add a cart, you buy the little ticket right there, and after you buy the ticket, you'll get an email with a link and a specific password for you to log in, make your picks, and all that good jam.
So it coincides, of course, with a survivor pool. 1 pick per week, sports survivor pool. That's exciting. We're having a Cappers contest, 5 picks against the spread each week, and a survivor contest. We all get to toast the victors and roast the losers. The Cappers contest at Pub Sports Radio. All you have to do is go to pubsportsradio.com to sign up.